name is Annette, and you may know me as Nettersplays, and today I'm going to go over my acquisitions and impressions for the month of March. Now, I know I haven't been too consistent with this series, but I wanted to get back on track, and I wanted to make sure I didn't skip out on a month. So let me give you my first thoughts and impressions on the games that I've played, and even the games that I haven't played. So let's get to it. So this little guy, he wanted to be in this part of the video because the first game that I managed to acquire is Birds of a Feather. Now, I haven't played it yet, but I did get this game from my friend Teal. He's the designer of this game, and he was even nice enough to sign it. So I've been wanting this game because of the theme. It's all about birds, mainly about bird watching though. And what this game offers is a card game with beautiful artwork. And it's a game where you're pretty much simultaneously playing with other players by picking one card to play into the center. You all look at what you've chosen and what you are actually looking at. You're looking at these different types of birds. If you see a bird like someone else's, well, you'll score a point. And the cool thing with this is that after you play that round, then the rest of those birds go into the center and stay there as lingering birds. And those birds can even add up more score value for the next round. So this is a really interesting, unique type of game that I think is really quick and fast to play. However, I just haven't found the right player count for it, and I want to make sure I play it with 4 players as it was intended to. So yes, that is Birds of a Feather. So another game that I backed but I have not yet played is Legendary Creatures. And the main reason that I kickstarted this game was because of the artwork. I thought the artwork of these creatures in this box are super cute and adorable. I thought it was very vibrant and bright and colorful. It's something that I would like to look at on my table while I play. The other reason that I back that, besides it being cute, because there's a lot of other cute games, is the fact that it's not simple. It doesn't look like a very simple game. I usually play games with a lot of meat to it or something unique and different. And that's what I thought this game offered too. So I haven't yet dived into the rulebook, so I don't know specifics about this game, but I do know that this is a card-based game with a lot of synergy between cards, and there's a planning phase, and there's also these different tracks that you're trying to move up on. So I thought all of that combination has a lot to offer besides it being just another cute game. So that's why I backed Legendary Creatures. So the first game that I actually did get to play is called Herbalism. Now, Herbalism is a game that I backed on Kickstarter from Deepwater Games. And what they're doing is they're bringing games that have already been developed and distributed in Asia and distributing them in the United States and other parts of the world through Kickstarter. So I wanted to make sure I backed this company and this game as well. So the cool thing with this game that makes it so different is the deduction factor. So in this game, all players are these different novice pharmacists, and we're trying to find a cure through all these different herbs and medicines. How you play this game is that you have this deck of cards, and you'll distribute the cards evenly except for 2. And what you're trying to do is figure out what those 2 cards are. And no one knows what those 2 cards are, but we're going to try to deduce as a group and figure out like who has what type of ingredient, or try to figure it out before someone else. Because this isn't a cooperative game, this is a competitive game. So I thought that is a really interesting take on deduction for multiple players. The other thing that I really like about this is that it's fairly short and quick. Easy to play, easy to introduce, and it's something that I can just play in a matter of 10-15 minutes. So I really like that factor because sometimes when you play these heavy games, it's just nice to throw something light and fun, yet somewhat thinky too. So that's why I backed Herbalism. So another game that I did manage to play is called Sunset Over Water. Now this is another Kickstarter that I backed, and it's again from Pencil First Games like Legendary Creatures. So in this game, we're all playing these different artists, and we're painting these different landscapes. So what we do is we go out into the world in these different landscapes and we plan out our day. We decide on what time we're going to wake up. We also decide on where we're going. And then we paint these beautiful paintings by collecting these different landscapes, and then we commission them off and gain points or money. The cool thing with this game is the fact that there's no game board. It's all card based. And what you do is you lay out these beautiful cards. Now, these cards are just different types of landscapes that incorporate cliff sides and waterfalls and beautiful meadows and such, mountainscapes. There's just beautiful artwork by Beth Sobel. She really did a great job with this. It also creates this kind of feeling over the table where it's nice and relaxing. The other thing is that these meeples that you're placing in the center of the gameplay area, they'll go ahead and they'll venture out. They'll hike around and they'll pick up or gain these different landscapes by painting them. The cool thing then afterwards is that you have these different agendas or objectives that these people are trying to commission off of you. So if you collect the right types of landscapes, then you can commission them off to gain points. So this game just follows really well with the game mechanic along with the theme itself. So it just goes hand in hand, and it's super casual, light fun, yet, I don't know, for some reason, it's not too simple. It's just a relaxing, casual, great game. So definitely high remarks on Sunset Over Water. So the next game, like the others, is another Kickstarter that I backed as well, and that is Steamrollers. So this game is a roll and write game unlike any other roll and write game that I have, because it has pickup and delivery along with dice drafting, and it's a route builder. So you have this one map and you have 6 different ways of how to play it on medium and another 6 different ways of how to play it on hard. So you have 12 different potential maps that you can play with. And so you are trying to deliver these different cubes, which are randomly placed on the map, and achieve these different goals by delivering these cubes and delivering them and achieving these points on these goals cards. The other cool thing is that you are drawing a map based on the die roll. So you roll these dice, and then you are going to draft between players. You're going to pick and choose where you're going to draw your lines, whether it being straight or curved, depending on the die roll as well. So you're not only drawing whatever you want, but it's all dependent on the die roll. Of course, there's ways to mitigate it. You can always use your dice, not just to draw the map, but also to upgrade your engine or even acquire special bonuses for later as well. So this game actually offers a lot of meat to it, and it's not just a simple little roll and write where you just fill in the blank. It's something that offers a lot of cleverness play to it too. So that's why I really enjoyed Steamrollers. So this next game that I acquired is called Flamme Rouge. Now, Flamme Rouge is a bicycle racing game. Yeah, I know, it's a unique and different theme that is unlike any other game that's out there right now. This game intrigued me not just because of the theme, but also because of the beautiful artwork, as well as the deck building aspect in the game. So what you're trying to do is you have 2 little figures, a sprinter and a rouleur, who are going on this one track. Now this track is variable. You can design it, I think, 6 different types of ways, and you design this one track, and you can go ahead and race around, and then there's a finish line. If you are the first person to cross the finish line, then you win. So simple theme, simple objective. However, the gameplay system is all based on the cards. So you are pretty much handling 2 different stacks of decks. You have one pertaining to your sprinter and another one to the rouleur. And then what you do is you draw these cards and then you pick one that you want to play. So this game actually promotes you to move in different packs or groups. And it also provides a cool, interesting thematic approach with slipstreaming, which is a term in bicycling where if you are slightly behind a big group of riders, you're going to actually gain some momentum towards them because they're all taking over that wind resistance. Because they're a bigger pack, there's no real resistance behind them, which will actually promote you forward. And so that's a really cool approach to an actual gameplay. You know, it actually incorporates that. So if you're slightly behind the group, well, you'll actually move ahead if you're a certain distance away from them, and without even playing a card. And I really loved how it incorporated that thematic approach too. Besides the game offering a lot of variety with the different mat boards, and also the unique theme and the application of the theme into the mechanisms, I really enjoyed the interactiveness between players. Because we're all moving in these different groups and we're trying to get to the goal first, or the finish line, we are all just actively trying to outwit one another and kind of, you know, think like, when is the best time to move ahead first? You know, when is my time gonna be where I can just jump ahead before these other people in order to get to the finish line first. So the timing and also the grouping between players is always fun in this game. And that's why I really enjoyed Flamme Rouge. So another game that I actually got to play is called Mexca. Now this is a game that I've been trying to get my hands on for quite a while because it's based off of the Aztec theme. Now, this is a game where during that time, you are building these different canals and these different bridges and traveling across the land, creating these different regions and building temples. So this is a game that kind of just intrigued me based on that theme. However, it's an abstract game, so the theme doesn't really matter too much. Another thing with this game is that it's mainly an area control game where you're building these different areas and you're trying to control a certain region or show your dominance in that area. And what you're doing is competing with other players to not only build these regions but also place your temples in them before someone else does, or if, you know, other people place their temples there but have the majority. So you are kind of at battle with other players to build and to develop. Now these games are a hit and miss with me because they're usually best with more players. So I actually played it as a 2-player game and it really did work. So it surprised me that there was enough space on the board to create that kind of push and shove between players. Now you can easily separate into different corners and do your own thing, but in the end you are always like pushed up against one another and trying to finish the game and develop as fast as you can and maintain that majority. So this game actually was a lot of fun. So this game actually really surprised me because it shows that these abstract games can actually just last for a long time, because it came out in like 2002 and it's still around and it still impressed me with the game mechanisms and the gameplay as well between players. So I really enjoyed the game of Mexca. So another game that I also managed to play is called London. So this is again another older game, however this is the second edition of London. Now this second edition kind of revamped the rules and kind of fine-tuned some of the loose strings that were in the first edition. It also has new artwork and a new box. Now I wanted to spend a little bit of time on the actual artwork because I thought this artwork was fantastic. Now the artwork here is based on the cityscape and the development of London. So all these different monumental buildings along with the people during that time are really well brought out in the cards themselves. It has this watercolor based kind of layout with the sketchiness too of the different landscapes and monuments. So I really thought that the artwork is just one of the best that I've seen this year. I really enjoyed it. And because this is a card game, well, you're constantly looking at the artwork. Now, I really enjoyed the gameplay as well. Now, the gameplay here is a really interesting system where you're trying to play these different cards and you're trying to obtain them from this layout on this board. And so you capture or you gain these different cards and then you're going to play them in front of you into a tableau, and then you're going to activate these, these different cards in front of you. Now, these cards that you're laying out in front of you can either give you money, they can give you points, or they can give you poverty. And so it's okay to gain poverty as long as you're not gaining the most poverty. And if you do gain poverty, well, you have to make sure that you figure out how to get rid of it. And so there's other cards that, you could use in order to get rid of poverty. Because at the end of the game, if you're the person with the least amount of poverty, then you'll get nothing subtracted from your score. However, if you have way more poverty than the person that has the least, then you'll get a substantial amount of points taken away from you. So you have to make sure that you're always on top of that. Another thing about this game is that I liked it so much that I actually made a little video and an overview of it. So you can even see a little bit more of that on my YouTube channel as well. So I'll leave the link below where you can actually look at a little bit more of the game mechanism and how it plays. But I do highly recommend the game of London. It's great gameplay and beautiful artwork. So this is a very endearing game to me because my friend Aaron Vanderbeek, he designed this game. And I'm really proud that he actually made something that's not only beautiful to look at, but also just the mechanisms involved with this game and the theme as well. Just like everything about it is lovely. So this game is all about Castell, the sport. And in Catalonia, Spain, there's these different regions where people have this sport where they bring the community together and they build these huge human towers. And it incorporates the community, and it's all about making sure that, they all work together in order to create these beautiful towers. So not only is the theme unique, but it also has a really good balance of play. So what you're doing is you're traveling around these different regions and you are obtaining these different members to join you in your group. And you are building these displays of human towers. So these tiles are randomly appearing in these different regions, and you are traveling from one place to another. Not only are you obtaining these different characters to build these towers with, but you also have to build up your skill levels. So you have to make sure that you are not only learning the same thing of how to build taller, but also how to build wider and make these unique different kind of human sculptures. So not only are you trying to obtain more tiles or people, but you're also building up your skill level, and all this is done because at different points in the game or each round, you're participating in these different festivals. You can either choose to participate or not, but what you do want to do is you want to show off that you have a variety of people, you obtain these different points, and you'll progressively getting better and better at the end of the year. So this is a really unique kind of engine building kind of display where you're growing as a group and you're obtaining the skill levels to participate in these grandiose festivals at the end of the year. So it's super competitive because not only are you trying to get to a region first to obtain these specific tiles, but you can also plan ahead and you know more or less where you want to be at certain points in the game to participate in these festivals. So not only are you trying to grab these tiles for future gameplay, but you're also competing with your opponents to get to them first. So it's a really cutthroat type of game, and the unique movement on the board as well as the building of these human towers is super fun to just kind of see how tall or how wide you can build. So I really enjoyed this game. I've been playing it for quite some time as a play tester, but also it's just fantastic to see that the artwork and the publisher and of course the designer just came together and created this fantastic, unique type of game. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and also if you want to leave a comment down below just about any of the games that I featured or even some games that you recommend, please do so and I'll make sure to respond. Also make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want you could follow me all over the internet. All the links are down below along with my Ko-fi account if you want to leave a little tip or some coffee. So thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye!